But I'd be damned if I let anybody else call me it that's not black. I mean, isn't that something? It's so hypocritical.
Malcolm X.
I think a lot of people are confused by the new Arabic name, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz.
I've always had the name on my passport, Malik El Shabazz, only I only used it in the Muslim world. Well, Hajj is a title that is given to any Muslim who makes the pilgrimage to Mecca during the official Hajj season.
Well, will you now use Shabazz and drop X?
I'll probably continue to use Malcolm X and I'll probably use it as long as the situation that produced it exists.
You don't feel.
Bad things happen to good people. None of us were ever really born equal. Only one life, there ain't no sequel. Some people live, others stay fearful. This world ain't never been peaceful. You got good, always butting heads against evil. The good try to be fair, but the bad lethal. They gon' fight dirty, every single one deceitful. Stand up, I wanna see your face. Get your chin up like you belong in this place. We gon' train like you've never trained before. You're going up against something that you can't ignore. This ain't a game, this your life that we're playing with. There ain't no reset button or an off switch. You gotta face your fears, you gotta scratch the itch. You gotta break through the walls and get after it. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying. Cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side by yourself. I got this, there ain't no going back. Leave it all on the battlefield, push the attack. You can't stop me, I'm obsessive. A lot of people think that I come off aggressive, but I'm just passionate. Why aren't you? Ain't nobody care if you got nothing to lose. You gotta put yourself on the line, make moves. Otherwise you'll be a sheep with the lions watching you. Only time will tell who's gonna make it. I promise you, I'ma be the one who's gonna take it. I fight, I provide, leaving blood on the pavement. If you're up against me, then you better be praying. Cause I'll keep punching till my knuckles start breaking. I'll keep going through the blood that I'm tasting. I won't stop till they've all seen greatness. The battle for my world just started, I've been waiting. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side by yourself. Today is the day, don't waste any time. Know it's time to make a change. Up in your mind, rearrange. Start thinking you're the hero headed out on your way. There's gonna be good times and bad times. That's alright, just stay on the line. Cause in life we all got a different mission, but the good guy always wins, that's a given. If you stay committed, you stay driven, you'll be looking down the barrel of completing your mission. Ignition, light the flame, get the fire and you listen. Take these words deep, cause this is real, ain't no fiction. You don't need drugs, help any prescription. Just persistence and energy can win any competition. So keep fighting, facing any opposition, and be the hero in a story you yourself have written. Villains and heroes, only time will tell who will win and who will fail. Villains and heroes, no there ain't no one else. Pick a side by yourself.
young people will begin to resist not only the use of the word nigger, we begin to resist the word Negro. We begin to resist the segregation.
It doesn't matter how much education you have, how many degrees you've earned, how much money you have, how much influence or affluence you may have attained, that the highest black person can never be equal to the lowest white person. You are still a nigger.
These niggers ain't got no business in this school.
We're white people. We don't want them to go to school with niggers.
Because you raise your voice or your hand in protest, and you would get a visit from the hooded white thugs in the middle of the night.
When your oppressor has all of the might, physical might, all the laws, all the courts, all the prisons, all the jails, all the money, what do you have to fight with? Words become bullets, as the last poets would say.
Niggas are scared of revolution, but niggas shouldn't be scared of revolution because revolution is nothing but change.
Part of the so-called modern rise of the civil rights movement, concomitant is the rise of the black consciousness movement.
We will continue the protest in the same spirit of love and nonviolence and passive resistance.
Soon, lunch counters in 65 cities were filled with black students calmly insisting on service. They were served up words of hate.
I said, I'm sorry, our management does not allow us to serve niggers in here.
Nigger was stigmatizing for the target of the term.
They don't want no nigger.
No nigger.
No nigger.
And of course, blacks strongly objected to that because they thought it was very close to nigger, the N-word. But the whites, Southern whites, oh no, that's not the same thing.
Damn nigger.
Lyndon Johnson is the biggest nigger lover in the United States. He may think that he can use his Justice Department with Bobby Kennedy at the head of it, and he may think that he can use J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI and the Army to force us white people here in St. Augustine and other parts of the nation to mix up with niggers. He sends troops in here and puts a bayonet behind every one of us. We still will not mix up with a bunch of black savages.
Whoever yelled it the loudest, whoever yelled it the most frequently, 9 times out of 10 would be the one who would prevail in the election contest.
They say, well, you can't have a poll tax. They can say you can't have a gas tax or a cigarette tax, anything else. Federal government's telling the states pretty tough what their business is. Now, you can say that they can't discriminate, but I've got to prove that it discriminates, and I can't prove it in Texas. There are more niggers voting there now than white folks. There are more of them buying poll taxes now than white folks. Higher percentage of them. And I can't show that the literacy test is discriminate against because they haven't got any. They got no test at all. Just by God, anybody that can get up and pay $1.06 can vote.
Congress passes the most sweeping civil rights bill ever to be written into the law, and thus reaffirms the conception of equality for all men that began with Lincoln and the Civil War 100 years ago. The Negro won his freedom then. He wins his dignity now.
Christ is a nigger, beaten and black. Oh, bare your back. Mary is his mother, mammy of the South. Silence your mouth. God is his father, white master above. Grant him your love. Most holy bastard of the bleating mouth, nigger Christ on the cross of the South. Christ in Alabama, Langston Hughes.
During the civil rights movement, we were trying to regain our dignity, and we switched from the word Negro, which ultimately we considered like derogatory too.
The underlying current of it, when I was coming up, it was a derogatory thing. It was a thing that you didn't want to deal with. That's why we went to black.
Young, gifted, and black. Let's get into the inner workings and the meaning of a black revolution and why black people have a right to take what's theirs. We're going to walk on this racist power structure, and we're going to say to the whole damn government, stick 'em up, motherfucker.
In the Black Panther Party, we would not allow our children to use this word at all, any more than curse, believe it or not, to that. Language is just a reflection of what people think and what the realities are. How do we define who black people are in America? Ultimately, of course, the party talked about revolutionary change in America, that in order for black people to be free, America had to change.
So many white folks in America keep wondering about what's wrong with them. Niggas must be crazy. No, baby, understand one thing. Niggas got more sense today than ever before in the history of America.
A dispatch from Memphis mentions that of 2 Negroes lately sentenced to death for murder in that vicinity, one named Woods has just confessed to having ravished a young lady, for which deed another Negro was hung by an avenging mob. Nothing to speak of. Only a nigger killed by mistake. That is all.
My going to Mecca and going into the Muslim world, into the African world, and being recognized and accepted as a Muslim and as a brother may solve the problem for me personally. But I personally feel that my personal problem is never solved as long as the problem is not solved for all of our people in this country. So I remain Malcolm X as long as there is a need to protest and struggle and fight against the injustices that our people are involved in this country. Yes, as I pointed out when I was during my traveling, that nations look, African nations and Asian nations and Latin American nations look very hypocritical when they stand up in the United Nations condemning the racist practices of South Africa and that which is practiced by Portugal and Angola, and saying nothing in the UN about the racist practices that are manifest every day against Negroes in this society. Even in South Africa, those Africans aren't faced with bayonets and aren't faced with police dogs. I would be not a man. If I was in a position to bring it in front of the United Nations and didn't do so, I wouldn't be a man. I hope to work with any group of leaders or any group of organizations to do whatever is necessary to see that this problem is brought before the United Nations. But one thing I found in my travels, all of them look upon us as their long-lost brother.
You realize the implication is that you have had such commitments when you say...
This is your interpretation of what I said. One thing that I found in all of my travels was that all of the Africans, not only the Africans, but the Asians and the Muslims, look upon us as their long-lost brothers. My argument over there was designed to prove that it is impossible for the United States government to solve the race problem. It's impossible.
All the roads we travel, the journey of our lives. Take another picture before we say goodbye. Arm in arm we're standing side by side. Memories fade but legends never die. One last time, let's live for something. I can feel my blood, it's rushing. This ain't goodbye, we'll be back someday. And we will find our own way. Take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crash and learn, make mistakes. And we'll be back one day. I got dreams, wanna go fast. Know this energy's here to last. Not a glass half full, overflow that. Gotta keep your eyes up on the prize. Only got one life, so it's worth a try. To find what makes you feel alive, that's the only way to live it right. And now we're all doing our own thing, but I'll never forget our glory days. My mind is full of the memories, yeah. And I'll never forget what they meant to me. Don't worry, we'll be back one day to celebrate our glory days. Although it's over now, don't let it get you down. We'll be back around. For now we can feel some sorrow. A new day, it starts tomorrow. We'll wake up, new dreams to follow. A new goal and brand new motto. One last last time, let's live for something. I can feel my blood, it's rushing. This ain't goodbye, we'll be back someday. And we will find our own way, take control of our fate. And like a car with no brakes, crash and learn, make mistakes. And we'll be back one day.
Are you prepared to work with some of the leaders of the other civil rights organizations?
Certainly, certainly. We will work with any groups, organizations, or leaders in any way, as long as it's genuinely designed to get results.
Does your new beard have any religious significance?
No, not particularly, but I do think that you'll find black people in America, as they strive to throw off the shackles of mental colonialism, will also probably reflect an effort to throw off the shackles of cultural colonialism, and they may begin to reflect desires of their own, with standards of their own.
Malcolm, your more controversial remarks was a call for black people to get rifles and form rifle clubs sometime back. Do you still favor that for self-defense?
I don't see why that should be controversial. I think that if white people found themselves the victim of the same kind of brutality that black people in this country face, and they saw that the government was either unwilling or unable to protect them, that the intelligence on the part of the whites would make them get some rifles and shotguns and protect themselves. Now, Negroes are developing some kind of intellectual maturity too. And they can see that having waited upon the government to protect them has been a wait that has been in vain. So any of them who live in areas where the government is not able to do its job, then we do have to get together and do a job of protecting ourselves.